I love holidays. I love holidays because in my memory as a child, I remember all the ways that our family all came together. I remember gathering at my grandma's house. I remember the way that we saw people that we didn't always see very often, but we saw sometimes. I remember that there was always lots of food. We feasted at holiday time, and it was a good thing. But what I remember best about holidays was the way that it gathered the whole family, and in the midst of the whole family, we started telling stories. And everybody had their own stories. Everybody had a story that was particular to them. Now, sometimes that story was told about them, and sometimes it was told by them. Perhaps your family also gathers at times like this. You gather and there are meals and there are relationships that are nurtured anew. And there is feasting. There is plenty to eat for all. And in the midst of that, perhaps even for you, there are stories. Now, in my family, there is a principle, and that principle, some of you have heard before. It goes like this: a story worth telling is a story worth embellishing. And so, within our family, there are those stories that seem to grow over time. If you were to ask my children, one of the favorite stories that they like to tell is a story about the time Dad drove the car into the garage, having neglected to take the bikes off the top of the car. Let's just say that Dad had a moment. They love to tell that story because somewhere in the midst of that, they got to see the clarity that Dad is human. Stories tell us things about who we are. Stories tell us things about the people that we're in relationship with. Stories help us get clarity about our identity. Stories are important. Indeed, for our children, for our little ones, we read to them fables and we read to them fairy tales, and those fables and fairy tales help them to rehearse for their real life circumstances that they will encounter. It gives them resources. Helps them to practice imagining the possibilities, particularly when we are confronted with impossible realities. And so today, as the body of Christ, as Christ's church, we have gathered as the family of God, chosen through the waters of our baptism, named as beloved. We have gathered here, and it is good to see all the people that we don't usually get to see here. It is good to have this reunion where we all gather. It is good to gather around this table where there will be feasting, and there is enough for everyone. But what Paul tells us today in his letter to the Corinthians is that the first importance is the story that we tell. The first thing is that we share the good news of Jesus Christ, the one who came to live with us, where Jesus came as God to walk with us, to live with us, to experience our pain, to experience our sorrow, to experience our joy, to experience all of that, and indeed became vulnerable to the most difficult things. And so Jesus became vulnerable even to the point of dying on a cross and was buried. And in that story, in hearing that story, and we know that that's not the end of the story. We know that the story ends with an announcement to some terrified women at the tomb. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth. He is not here. He is risen. He has gone ahead of you to Galilee like he told you. Go tell the disciples, go tell Peter, go tell them that he is going ahead of them and he will meet them there just as he said.